गुड मॉर्निंग क्लास।
Good morning, sir.
मॉर्निंग। चलिए तो हम लोग शुरुआत करें। आज क्या टॉपिक पढ़ के आना था? थ्योरी ऑफ प्रोडक्शन। और उसके पहले इन्फ्लेशन में कहीं कोई दिक्कत है तो आप मुझे बताएं। कुछ लोग अभी भी आ ही रहे हैं, इसलिए थोड़ा एक आध मिनट वेट कर लेते हैं।
जो कर ला कर हमरा से बकवास मत कर। तू जो हम तरह नहीं को 1000 पड़ेगा। हम जब फ्री हो कब हम जाए उससे में जो
सांजलि म्यूट कर दो।
हेलो।
यस
राइट। तो इन्फ्लेशन में कहीं किसी को कोई डाउट है, कुछ पूछना वगैरह है तो बताइए। नो डाउट। क्लास। चलो ठीक है। तो मैं सवाल कर रहा हूं, हम लोगों को थ्योरी ऑफ प्रोडक्शन पढ़ के आना था। तो प्रोडक्शन क्या है? व्हाट इज प्रोडक्शन? या पहले आप ही लोग पूछ लें। हेलो, मेरी आवाज आ रही है क्या क्लास?
Yes, sir.
यस सर।
यस सर
Yes, sir. आ रही है।
हाँ, तो कुछ पूछना है तो बोलो, कुछ पूछो। थ्योरी ऑफ प्रोडक्शन पढ़ के आना था।
सर मोबिलाइजेशन ऑफ सेविंग मींस
मोबिलाइजेशन ऑफ सेविंग्स का मतलब हुआ कि देखिए, होता क्या है ना कि एक इंडिविजुअल या कुछ ग्रुप ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स के पास सेविंग्स होती है। वो छोटा छोटा सेविंग्स करते हैं। तो जो छोटा छोटा सेविंग्स होता है, तो वो सेविंग्स एक्चुअली में नेशनल इंटरेस्ट में हम लोग उसको यूज नहीं कर पाते। वी कांट यूज दैट इन द नेशनल इंटरेस्ट। तो हम लोग करते क्या है? हम लोग करते ये हैं कि उस सेविंग्स को हम लोग एक फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन में जाके जमा करते हैं, बैंकों में जाके जमा करते हैं। बैंक्स हो गए या दूसरे फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हो गए, तो वहां पर जब आप जाके पैसा जमा करेंगे तो वहां से उन बैंकों के द्वारा उन स्मॉल सेविंग्स को इकट्ठा किया जाएगा, कलेक्ट किया जाएगा और फिर उसको ऐसी जगहों पर पहुंचाया जाएगा, चैनलाइज किया जाएगा जहां पे फंड्स का रिक्वायरमेंट, जिनको पैसे की आवश्यकता है, वहां पे उसको पहुंचाया जाएगा। तो इसको हम लोग कहते हैं मोबिलाइजेशन ऑफ सेविंग्स। मतलब पूलिंग टुगेदर ऑफ सेविंग्स एट अ पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट, और उस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट जहां पे सेविंग्स को पूल किया जाता है उसको हम लोग फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस कहते हैं या बैंक्स कहते हैं। और फिर वहां से उसको डाइवर्ट किया जाता है दूसरी जगह जहां पे उन फंड्स का रिक्वायरमेंट हो।
ओके सर गॉट
समथिंग एल्स? कोई पूछने के मूड में है नहीं, हमको लक्षण लग रहा है। तो फिर मैं ही पूछ रहा हूँ, प्रोडक्शन क्या है? व्हाट इज प्रोडक्शन? व्हाट इज प्रोडक्शन? प्रोडक्शन क्या
Sir,
है?
Product.
हाँ,
sir,
बोलो।
production is a microeconomic concept, or it is economic in nature. Production is defined as for production of goods for the satisfying of human wants, and production is defined as in two ways: creation of utility and transformation of inputs into output. So, for creation of utility, there are 5 ways to define it. First is time utility, form utility, place utility, position utility, or knowledge utility. And transformation of input into outputs, there are 4 inputs: land, labor, capital, entrepreneur.
गुड खुशी, वेरी गुड। चलो,
Thank you, sir.
हाँ, रोल नंबर 19 तुम भी कुछ बोल रहे थे क्या? खुशी सोच क्या ही है कि सर को आज बोलने का मौका नहीं देना है ना?
नहीं सर, वो बोल दी सारा।
सारा बोल दी। चलो, गुड, वेरी गुड। तो है क्या, what Khushi said, perhaps she has left nothing for me also to explain, but just to have a recap of things. Production, first of all, is a microeconomic concept, and it is economic in nature. That is, any human activity which goes on to produce something but does not involve money will not be considered as production in economics. Production, for any activity to be regarded as production, must be economic in nature. This is one aspect of production. Now, the second aspect is that production, as I said, is a process, and every process has its beginning, and process ends with some result. So, beginning of the production process is nothing but the collection of all the inputs, and the end result of that production process is the output which you get. The output which you get, the finished product which you get, which is ultimately meant for satisfying the human wants either directly or indirectly, whatever the case may be. Now, when you talk further more about production, how to define production, the term production may be classified or may be defined in two ways, as Kushi mentioned. That one is that creation of utility is known as production, and utility may be created in 5 different ways. One is place utility, by changing the place of a particular thing. For example, as I mentioned in my classes, that apple in an apple orchard is of no use in the trees, but when it is plugged, it is washed, packed, and brought to the market, it acquires some economic value. So by changing the place of apples, we have given some economic value to it. So this is called as production in economics, because economic value has been created and utility has been added into it by the change of place. This point number 2 is that you may also add utility to a particular product by changing its form. Say, for example, the wheat in the uh, uh, field is of no use. When the wheat is being harvested, it is being cut, it is being brought into the market, sold, being washed, and then crushed into flour, and then being transformed into chapati. So you are changing the form of the wheat into chapati, and that is a creation of utility, because the economic value into wheat has been added by changing the form. The same case may be true with the different forms of furniture that you get from the carpenter, because carpenter, by making use of his small and big machines or equipments, and he transforms the shape of the log of wood into different forms of furniture, which is ultimately used at different places, providing the log of wood some economic value and adding utility into it. Point number 3 says that by adding time or by storing a particular product, that is, when some products are being produced and are not meant to be supplied immediately into the market for consumption, they are being stored in the market, and uh, they are being taken out when the need arises. The storage is done for the purpose of ensuring that there is no pilferage, there's no deterioration in the quality of the product, and by storing it for say 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year and all, so you add some economic value into it. So this is also called creation of utility and production, because economic value is added by virtue of time. Point number 4 is knowledge utility. Say for example a machine which is of no use, but it has lots of users in the uh, factory or the place of work, but it requires somebody to work upon it. It requires somebody to make use of the machine. You train the laborers so that the labor can make use of the machine. So by imparting knowledge through training, you are ensuring that the machine is being economically used, and the creation of utility is being made, and this is also known as production in economics. Finally, point number 5, it says ownership or possession utility. When you exchange something, when you go to a market and pay the price for it and become the owner of a particular product and consume it, by changing the ownership or the title in the goods or the payment of the price for that goods, you become the owner and you make some uh, use in respect of satisfying your wants. You are said to have done production in economics. So these were different forms by which utility can be created, or ways in which utility can be created. Another important definition of production is that transformation of the inputs into outputs by use of the required level of skill and technology is called production. Now, when you talk about production, you said that it is the collection of inputs, or it begins with the collection of inputs. So inputs basically have been classified into 4 categories. One is land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. When you combine all these factors of productions and use the technology to transform them into finished products, you get the output. And this entire process of transformation is called production in economics. Am I clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. तो अब आप थोड़ा मुझे बताएं कि any 4 important features of land. Roll number 30, Sanjali. Four important features of land.
4 important features. First is land is tangible asset, and it is a free gift by the nature, and it is not created by the man or destroyed by man, and it is strictly limited in quantity, and it is different from the other factors of production in that practical purposes like permanently in being, no change in demand can affect the amount of land in existence. Our supply of land is perfectly inelastic from the point of view of economy, and relatively elastic from the point of view of firm.
Very good. ठीक है. Somebody else. 4 features of land.
Yes, sir.
Tell.
Land. Land is a first one is land is a free from nature, and second one is land is a indestructible. It means that it is neither be created or nor be destroyed. Second one is land is a passive in nature. It means the force is exerted upon it, then the production is occur. And fourth one is land is the immovable factor. It means that we cannot uh, change the place of land from one place to another. Immovable factor.
Very good. Very good. Right. देखिए, what these two students have said, Khushi and Sanjali, मेरे ख्याल से they have all pointed out the features of land. एक बार फिर से बता दूं. सबसे पहला तो land is a free gift of nature. Anything that we get free from nature is classified as rent. Sorry, as land. For the use of land, you pay rent. ये आप लोग मिस कर गई. For the use of land, you pay rent as reward. But the rent varies from land to land depending upon the usefulness, the fertility, and the location of the land. Land, according to David Ricardo, is indestructible, completely indestructible. You cannot destroy land. The best what you can do is the fertility in the soil gets eroded, which can again be reinstated. You can bring back the fertility of the soil. The next important feature of land is that land by nature is a passive factor of production. That is, land is of no use unless some effort is being exerted upon it, some labor is being exerted upon it. You can't construct a building on land without the exertion of labor. You can't grow crops on land without the farmers becoming active on land. So what I'm trying to make you understand is that labor as a factor of production is something which makes land active. Otherwise, land is a passive factor of production. Another important feature about land is that land is a perfectly immobile factor of production. That is, you cannot move land from one place to another. You cannot expect land to go from one place to another. The supply of land from macroeconomic point of view, as Sanjay said, is perfectly inelastic. That is, the supply of land cannot be increased whatever come may be the situation. But from firms point of view, or from individuals point of view, or from microeconomic point of view, the supply of land is relatively elastic. It means that people having more money can buy more land, and people having less money will be able to buy lesser land, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Right. बॉयज में मैं देखूं कि कौन कौन है बॉयज में, सो दैट आई कैन रेज फ्यू क्वेश्चंस. मोहम्मद शाहिद अली, रोल नंबर 2. मोहम्मद
Yes, sir.
शाहिद अली, रोल नंबर 2.
Yes, sir.
लेबर के कैमरा ऑन करो. लेबर के फीचर्स के बारे में कुछ बताना है आपको. टेल मी समथिंग अबाउट फीचर्स ऑफ लेबर. कैमरा ऑन कर लो और कॉपी मत देखो, सीधा बताओ मुझे. और तुम अपने कैमरे को हॉरिजॉन्टल रखे हुए, हॉरिजॉन्टल मत रखो, उसको ऐसे रखो. बट सॉरी, तुमने वर्टिकल रखा है, उसको हॉरिजॉन्टल कर लो. अब सही है.
Yes, sir. हुआ.
अब मेरे सवाल का जवाब दो कि लेबर के फीचर्स के बारे में बताओ.
इसके पीछे
नहीं पढ़े हैं?
यस, नहीं पढ़े, कल क्लास नहीं किए थे तो नहीं मालूम था कि कौन सा टॉपिक आज.
ठीक है. मैं और देखता हूँ. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. मेघा सिन्हा, रोल नंबर 4, 111488.
यस सर. सर हम भी कल क्लास नहीं किए थे, इसलिए पता नहीं था कि क्या पढ़ के आना.
अच्छा, कैमरा तो ऑन कर लो पहले.
यस सर.
कहाँ यस सर? सब जगह तो नो ही सर है. तुम दिख कहाँ रही हो?
सर ऑन कर लिए.
हाँ, तो ऑन ही रखा करो.
यस सर.
तो लेबर का फीचर तुमको नहीं याद है? इसके लिए पढ़ना पड़ेगा तुमको.
सर बहुत पहले पढ़े थे ना, तो भूल गए, याद नहीं है.
अच्छा, तब तो जो केजी और एलकेजी और नर्सरी में पढ़ी हूँ वो भी भूल गई होंगी.
नो सर.
ठीक है. आकाश कुमार, रोल नंबर 5. आकाश कुमार, रोल नंबर 5।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
मोबाइल फोन हॉरिजॉन्टल कर लो, ऐसे कर लो, ऐसे।
Sir, ऐसे ही ठीक है। Sir,
लेबर के
का
फीचर्स के बारे में बताओ। हाँ,
सर लेबर का पहला फीचर है लेबर वेरीज पर्सन टू पर्सन। लेबर डिपेंड्स ऑन